Hey everyone, as usual, it's Tara. Welcome back. Today I'm going to be doing a short and snappy review for you guys of a product I've been getting so many questions about. I know there's one girl in particular who really badly wanted this review because she literally commented on every one of my social networks asking me how I was getting on. I'm sure this product doesn't need much of an introduction because you've probably already read it in the description, but it is the Tom Ford very much talked about cream contour palette, I guess. What's it called? The shade and Illuminate in 0 Intensity 1, and I got this a few months back. You would have seen it in the last beauty haul that I did. Extremely beautiful product. The packaging is lovely. I won't go on too much about that, you can see it for yourselves. It's just sort of a kind of plastic packaging which is quite lightweight, and the kind of gold detail with the Tom Ford I find is a quite nice touch. But basically inside you get a massive mirror, as well as the contour colour and the highlighting shade. What you get in the shade and Illuminate is the illuminating shade, which looks like a very opaque white, and also the contour shade, which is sort of a more greeny grey based brown, I guess, or tan colour. Both absolutely lovely products. Now don't be scared. The white, first of all, even though it looks quite opaque, once you see it in person and once you swatch it, it's very sheer. Quite a sheer wash of sort of a kind of like a white shimmer. Now the texture is quite emollient. It's a little bit more on the kind of oily side feeling, which may not be great if you kind of, you know, where you usually put your highlight, if you're sort of maybe spot prone or blemish prone. I don't know if this would be the best product to use, but definitely if you like cream products or you have dry skin or normal to dry skin, I don't think you'd have any problems with it. But yeah, that just gives like a sheer wash of colour. I'll do a little close up on that for you guys. And then again, the contour colour is a very similar emollient texture, and it just comes out a little bit like that. The shade and Illuminate comes in 2 shades. This is the Intensity 1 and then there's an Intensity 2. So when I got home at first I was like, oh my god, should I have gotten Intensity 2? This is very light looking, and if it's anything as sheer as the highlighter, maybe it's just going to blend into nothing and you're not going to see it. But it's definitely a different story with the contour colour. It comes out very strong, very dark, as you can see, and it just kind of blends out and fades into nothing depending on how strong you want it. So definitely if you're all the way down to like maybe a dark or like the darker end of a medium skin tone, I would try the Intensity 1 before you try the Intensity 2. Application wise, I use my fingers and a Real Techniques buffing brush to blend it all in, which you will see in the demo at the end. If you're a regular brush user, your first instinct is just to go away in with the kind of any of your Real Techniques brushes and just pick up some colour, but actually I find that this is a little bit too emollient even for a synthetic brush or a real hair brush. It just doesn't pick up enough product and it just gets your brushes really dirty really quickly. So I find that actually the best way to use that is with your fingers. So you'll see in the demo, I just literally swipe my finger in it, whatever finger is most comfortable for you, kind of draw the line where I want it, and then buff it in with something like a Real Techniques buffing brush. I also have this Sephora mineral powder brush, but I just find that the Real Techniques buffing brush is just nicer. It's a slightly, I don't know, it's a slightly more like real hair feel to it, which I find just kind of doesn't stick to the product as much as this kind of very synthetic-y Sephora one, or maybe it's the shape is slightly different. I don't know, they look kind of the same to me, but I think the feeling of the Real Techniques bristles works better with the contour cream. You can stop if you want a stronger contour, you can build the product on top of it if you kind of start off light and then you decide you want to go heavier. It doesn't really go patchy or anything like that. You can buff it out till it's barely there. You can use it under your makeup. I prefer to use it over my makeup, but you could use it under your makeup if you wanted to, and it just literally blends into nothing till you can literally blend it till it's probably almost gone. Like, it's that easy to work with. Now I do one side of my face at a time because I find that it does kind of set, so you need to work with it kind of, I don't know, not really quickly but sort of quickly. So I do one side of my face and then I do the other side of my face because I find that it sort of dries out a little bit and can kind of go a bit patchy if you leave the other side too long. I just love how you can completely build this product up, or choose the amount you want to blend it, or choose the severity of contour that you want. So let's say if it's a going out look, you might have a stronger contour that comes down a little bit further down your kind of cheekbone, or you can just do it like more subtly on the back, a little bit like what I've done today. I've gone for a sort of in-between look just to show you guys. Now I know why it's so popular in like fashion shoots and stuff, because it is so kind of skin-like, and the highlighter gives sort of a nearly kind of wet beach look. Like, do you ever see those kind of editorials on like beaches and they look all kind of shimmery and stuff like that? It kind of gives like that kind of effect, but obviously there's absolutely no shimmer in the contour whatsoever. To be honest, I don't care too much for the highlighter. I find that even though I have dry skin, I don't wear a very heavy layer of BB cream or foundation, so I find that if you do use it with your fingers, it can nearly look like it's lifting your foundation a bit, which you could just, I don't know, you could just use a brush instead, but I just like to use my fingers. And even with, like, it's a very subtle highlight. It's a lovely highlight if you're on a shoot or if you want it in your kit or something like that, but honestly I think it's very easy to get a good highlighter these days. To be honest, I really bought it for the contour colour. It is an extremely expensive product. I think I paid about 65 euros for it, and really the only thing I was paying for was this bit. I still do use the highlighter, but it's the contour is kind of where the money is at for me. And as well, the highlight doesn't work extremely well if you want like a matte look. I mean, it's just, you're not going to get that. It's going to look strange on top of a matte foundation. So really think before you buy, are you going to use the two products? Is it going to be value for money for you? Do you care or not? Are you just getting it for the contour? Those are just a few things to consider before purchasing. One more note about it, I have quite dry skin naturally, and I find that this product works best when you've prepped your skin really well with either a dewy foundation or moisturized really well. I mean, you can use it without foundation or without any other makeup as well, just for an all over sort of natural bronzing. If you're like on holiday or something, you want a bit of a sun-kissed look when you're out on the beach or whatever like that. But I do find that it works better if your skin is really well prepped. If your skin is sort of dry, or if you're using a more matte foundation, I feel like it wouldn't really do it that much justice. I don't really know why you would want to use a cream contour if you like a really matte face. I don't think that's really the point of the product. I mean, you could definitely use it and then powder over it, but I just find that the whole point of this product is for a very high-end, sort of slightly dewier look or more satin finish look anyway. I just find if my skin is a little bit too dry, it does look a little bit patchy. As well, it does take a few tries to get to grips with it and find out what way of application works best for you. And of course, here's the demo. So taking your finger of choice, preferably not a dead or a cold one because we want to warm up the product, you are going to precisely place exactly where you want your contour marks to be at, I guess. So I'm putting it kind of in my temples near my hairline and also in the hollows of my cheekbones. Then I'm buffing it out with my Real Techniques buffing brush, being careful to sort of buff into the cheekbone and upward rather than below the cheekbone, because you don't want to just end up with kind of a big muddy looking cheek and kind of bringing your cheekbones down further. So just be sure to kind of not kind of come below the hollows of your cheekbones. And I'm also buffing that into my hairline to give me sort of a tanned look, making sure it's all blended well, and also taking whatever's on the brush down the side of my nose and kind of along my chin and my jawline, just to kind of contour the entire face without it looking too harsh. I just like to use whatever's on the brush. And now for the other side, I'm doing the same thing, making sure that it is just buffed out to absolute kind of skin type texture. And as you can see, you can pretty much just keep buffing until it's pretty much nearly gone. You can't really see where the product stops and starts, which is what I really love about it. Now for the highlighter, I'm just taking a ring finger again and slowly patting the product where I want it, so the backs of the cheekbones, down the bridge of the nose, Cupid's bow if you want, under the brow, anything like that. But being careful not to sort of lift your foundation off. You have to be sort of gentle when you're patting, and it just gives a lovely, gorgeous, healthy glow type of look without being too obvious. That was my review and demo, guys. I really hope you enjoy these little videos. Let me know if you do. I mean, I'd love to start doing them maybe once every fortnight for you guys, maybe reviewing specific product that I've really been loving and maybe doing a little short demo on it as well. So do like this video if you'd like to see more of those, and of course do subscribe to me if you want to see more videos. I have a whole bunch of videos planned for the next few weeks as I've been out of action for a little while, so I'm really looking forward to getting back into it. And yeah, I will see you in my next video, guys. I hope you have a nice day. Brief update on my hair in case any of you were wondering what I asked for, stuff